Good morning, everyone. This is Bharat once more reporting for Revsportz from the city of Vizag. So, before I travel back to Bengaluru, this is my final video report from Vizag in relation to the third ODI played between India and South Africa. So, what are the main talking points from this game as well as the series? To start with, I have to, start with the toss event. India went on to win the toss in ODI cricket after a long time. Actually, the last time I think India won the toss in this format was during the 2023 World Cup in a match against New Zealand. I think it was the World Cup semi-final, and that is a long time ago. To think of it, Rohit Sharma was still the skipper. That exemplifies the point. KL Rahul, the ODI captain for this series, was summoned to bring in Lady Luck. I said to have used his left hand instead of right hand to toss the coin. Actually, in one of the videos, I noted that KL Rahul can do some black magic or ask some astrologer. He went one step ahead. He brought on some innovative methods to win the toss. Actually, he celebrated it in a light-hearted manner. And then Ashit Rana also hugged KL Rahul after he won the toss. So leaving aside these light-hearted moments, let us look at some of the other main talking points. One of them obviously was Yashasvi Jaiswal scoring his maiden ODI 100. He came under some scrutiny, criticism for failing the first two games, but in the nick of time, he scored 100. I think it was just a case of him not understanding the template of ODI cricket. See, what happens in modern times is when you play a lot of T20 cricket, it kind of play in a similar fashion in other formats as well. But in ODI cricket, you get 300 deliveries, unlike 120 in T20 cricket. You can take your time, you can bide your time. Secondly, you don't need to take too many risks in the ODI cricket. In this format, it's also about getting big hundreds, not 30s and 40s. That might be enough in T20s. So you have to really bide your time before pressing the accelerator pedal. And that's what exactly Jaiswal did. Actually, the context to it is he did have a long chat with Gautam Gambhir, the head coach, as well as the rest of the support staff on the eve of the game in the next session. Somewhere, I think Gambhir ingrained, or the rest of the coaching staff as well, ingrained the kind of tempo that's required in ODI cricket in Jaiswal's mind. And he followed all that advice to the T. Actually, Gautam Gambhir in the post-match press conference also talked about how it was only about someone like Jaiswal understanding the template of ODI cricket, and you don't need to be overly aggressive. And for a player of Jaiswal's class, if he bats for 25-30 overs, he's going to get 100. If you look back at that innings, there were a couple of overs upfront when Jaiswal was getting beaten by the nip that someone like Jensen was extracting, but he was able to wade through or paddle through those overs. And after that, there was a time when he was on 49 of 74 deliveries, but it never looked like Jaiswal was going to throw his wicket away. He definitely has learned his lesson after failing, especially in the second game where he tried to play too many shots and then got out. So kudos to Jaiswal, but having said that, he might have to again sit out. Shubman Gill, the Test and ODI captain, will return shortly back to the Indian setup after suffering a neck injury. And there are a couple more talking points here. One is about Kuldeep Yadav. See, there was a time during the Test series in South Africa where it felt as if he was not imparting enough reps on the ball. But the same Kuldeep Yadav is definitely an integral part of the limited over setups of the Indian team. It's always great to have a refined wrist spinner, and Kuldeep Yadav with a mixture of flight, googlies, and the stock deliveries. He flummoxed the South African batting lineup, running through the lower order and middle order. And the Indian management will hope that Kuldeep Yadav will stay fit for the next couple of years, because obviously the 2027 World Cup is on the horizon. That's about Kuldeep. We also have to talk about Prasidh-Krishna. The lanky fast bowler once more went for runs up front At one point of time, I guess he had gone for 27 runs of 2 overs as Pint and de Kock took him to the cleaners, exploring every nook and cranny of the ground. But Prasidh bounced back in style, so credit to him, and ended up with 4 wickets. He's a genuine wicket taker. If you look at his ODI record, he has 37 wickets in 21 games, has 22 wickets in 6 tests. But having said that, his economy rates have always been on the higher side or mostly on the higher side. I, I don't think it's just about the mental side of things. I guess a couple of skills are missing in the Prasidh-Krishna jigsaw puzzle. One of them is it doesn't really bowl into the pitch lower ones. It's something that Harshit Rana, his partner in crime, bowls quite a bit. I think it goes a bit against him because in limited overs cricket, you have to bowl defensive lines, you have to go defensive on most occasions. Prasidh perhaps goes for an all-out attack approach, and that is really going against him in at least limited overs cricket. Yes, in the IPL 2025, actually used some of these tools, and that is why he succeeded. Maybe after that, as he played Test cricket, he somewhere lost that particular skill because whenever he tried those into the pitch lower ones in the Raipur ODI, it was not sticking into the pitch. Yeah, he does have a loopy off cutter, but to be fair, even a layman like me can make decipher that grip. So if a layman like me can decode that grip, then definitely the professional batters will do it. So yes, he's very much a bowler that I admire for his wicket-taking skills. But having said that, if I have to constructively criticize Prasidh, then he has to improve his defensive skills, and in Test cricket, he needs to develop a wobble ball. And that's about Prasidh. Obviously, we also have to think about Kohli and Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma was in sublime touch in the final ODI with those lofts and whips, across the line shots. And Virat Kohli might have even scored in the 100 if South Africa had ended up with a bigger score. That would have meant 300s in 3 games. So that's unprecedented. See, Kohli is someone who's rarely out of form in this format, and it's great to see him scoring all those runs or compiling all those runs in the 50-over format. It was a privilege to watch him from the press box. So that's about Kohli. We also have to talk about Ruturaj Gaikwad. He's someone that I've really admired as a list or a 50-over player ever since I watched him scored 100 against Himachal Pradesh back in 2018. I think it's the perfect fit for this format because he understands the required tempo. It's someone who can farm the strike. He does have a range of shots. He takes his time, and then obviously you will end up watching all those sublime lofted strokes. See, Gaikwad, I really was pleased for him when he cracked that 100 in the second ODI. Unfortunately, once more for Gaikwad, he might have to sit out in a few months' time when India play the next ODI, or in a month's time or a few months' time when India play the next ODI. Simple reason for that is Shreyas Iyer is going to come back into the equation, and he's an experienced player, and he's someone who I think the management will back him because he's done really well for them in pressure situations in the recent times. So that's about Gaikwad again. Unfortunately, he might have to sit out soon out of the ODI lineup. But that tells you something about the sheer depth that Indian white ball cricket possesses. Compared to red ball cricket, I think Indian white ball cricket has reached its zenith, and there's fierce competition for places. So that's a little bit about Gaikwad as well. We also have to, I think, touch upon Harshit Rana. Has been trolled a lot, but I think in this series he's bowled reasonably well with his into the pitch lower ones, with his hard length, he's bowled with good pace, he gets a little bit of seam movement as well. I think he deserves a little more time to develop fast bowling mindset. See, Indian fast bowlers generally mature late, barring maybe Jasprit Bumrah and Kapil Dev. So that is something expected, I guess, with an Indian fast bowler. So even with Harshit Rana, one has to give him some time. So thank you for taking your time out and going through this video. Hopefully you liked it. Keep subscribing to our videos. We don't just cover cricket, but other sports as well. Thank you again.